So now we're here today to remember the men, women and children who died in the collieries of the Irwell Valley, and particularly Agecroft, Pendleton, Clifton Hall, Newtown and Wheatsheaf. And we have to remember that women and children died in these pits as well, below our feet here, and some were left entombed as well. Some children were just left entombed. They weren't given a decent burial. They died where they worked and where they lay. And we're talking of children in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll just read out some of the names of the ones who died, particularly Margaret Chapman, 1913, aged 23. The disaster of the 4th of January 1859, which just happened just a few metres away to the right of me, where the two shafts were, where Benjamin Tomlinson, James Green, William Latham, Thomas Lancaster, Thomas Edge, Luke Thomas, John Foster, all died in a cage accident. They were all between the ages of 10 and 10 and 16 years of age. And we also remember the 93 other names on the plaques that we've got on the memorial who died in horrific circumstances, making this country what it is today. That's what their labour did. It made this country what it is today. It brought us here today. We should always remember that. From 1958 deaths: Hugh Albert, 1958, 45. Frank Egan, 1959, 24. James Older, 1961, 61. Harry Olker, 1961, 49. John Lord, 1969, 28. John Saunders, 1963, 44. Harold Weeks, 1963, 45. Alfred Thompson, 1966, 42. Edward Faulkner, 1969, 43. Glyn Davis, 1971, 33. Thomas Charlton, 1971, 57. John Fletcher, 1975, 51. Colin Eaton, 1981, 45. Adam Stott, 1981, 19. Just 19. These men walked through these gates that were here and they never went home. We just think of that, you know. They never went home, and we really must acknowledge the sacrifices that they made. I'll now ask for a minute's silence, and then I've got an announcement to make for further consultation. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much. Right, I've got an announcement to make now, a bit of a lighter tone in a way. First I'd like to say, anybody listening, and for people out there, if you had a relative who worked at Agecroft Colliery, you're quite welcome to get in touch with us and have a plaque put on the monument in the name of your deceased partner, brother, or husband. It's not just for certain people. Anybody who had associated with this pit are quite welcome to have a plaque put on the monument. Now, what we've got here now today is, we had a prince working at Agecroft Colliery and Wheatsheaf Colliery, a real prince, and he's from Africa. He was called Peter Lobengula, and he worked this pit, and we took to him like a brother at the time. He came over in a sort of what I would call a show, and he became a miner at Agecroft Colliery. He died in 1913, and he was held in great esteem, real great esteem, by the people of this pit and the people of Salford. And when he died, he went past this road, his funeral cortege went across this road to Agecroft Cemetery, and all the miners in this pit came out and doffed their hats to him. A true prince of Salford. We've decided to put a plaque on in Peter's name on the monument to remember him, because he's got no family, and this is what we're all about, remembering all the miners. And we're going to ask one of our local residents, Lloyd Ellis, to unveil the plaque. If you can, Lloyd, in memory of Peter.
I'm joined by Lloyd Ellis, and this gentleman, you unveiled the plaque, didn't you, for Peter?
Oh yes, I did, yeah.
Is it a great honour, do you feel? Or?
Yeah, because I've known him before, at least 15 years ago, or read about him in the paper. Yeah.
Quite
local paper.
Fascinating character, wasn't he, Lobengula?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So do you feel proud today, or
Yeah,
happy?
yeah. I'm quite feel quite unjust to doing it, you know.
Yeah. No, he was a good man. And you're a good man yourself, Lloyd, for opening the plaque and for talking to us.
Yeah.
And I'm joined by Rebecca Longbailey, the MP for Salford. What did you think of the event?
I thought it was fantastic. It's so important to commemorate, as we do every year here at Agecroft Colliery, our social history and the lives of those who were lost in the colliery, but also those who put so much into our local industry and our local political scene as well, because a lot of the workers' rights that we've seen today was born out of the struggle of workers in Salford. It started here, the trade union movement. But today we're obviously commemorating a worker in the colliery who was a prince from Africa, and it just shows how diverse our social history was hundreds of years ago and how much vibrancy and cultural kind of vibrancy has been brought to our city and our shared history, and it's important to remember that, and remember that we're also joined not by where we come from in the world, not by what kind of background we come from, but by our class and our struggles that we share together.
I was very impressed. I've done quite a bit of research on Prince Peter Lobengula, and I loved the way that he was embraced by the city. We took him in.
Yeah.
And the fact that the coal miners gave him a guard of honour with the Shovelton Pit, and they actually paid for his grave plot in the cemetery. I think it's a fascinating story and a tribute to the people of Salford.
It's that's Salford through and through. Yeah. That's what you'd expect today, and that's what happened in history as well, is that once you're in Salford, you're Salford for life, and we will look after you.
I'm joined by Peter Kalou. What did you think of the event, Peter?
It's very moving. I had not considered for a long time just how much he was part of the mining community of Salford, of Agecroft, and I think the event really brought that out to me, that he was a full part of the community, and the idea that people lined up to say their goodbyes when he departed from this world was astonishing. He must have made such a huge impact in that area.
Do you remember when me and you went to his grave?
Absolutely, I did, and it was another time. In some ways, I'm trying to, for myself, recover the lives of these black African people who came to England for various reasons, and Peter Lobengula is not typical, I wouldn't say, because he's come all the way in a circus. The South African Savage South Africa, and somehow managed to establish his own circus. I believe became an impresario, and that journey that he made from supping tea with Prince Charles, or the Prince of Wales, I should say, to becoming a miner. It's a journey full of highs and lows, full of extraordinary events and very mundane, real things like digging for coal. And so in some ways, I think he symbolises almost all the lives of all migrants, perhaps, in that from the highs and lows of migration to England. But also, in some respect, the lives of all of us, in that we all have a circus impresario. We all have the fun and joy and spectacular. We're all spectacular. We're all unique. We're all amazing people. And then slowly, life cudgels the life out of you, and you end up digging for coal in a mine. One of the hardest jobs ever. And so there's something about him that rises above the times. That he does represent for me something extraordinary, but also something really true of all of us.
Finally, I'm going to speak into the wonderful Alex Shannon, despite him being a city. Alex, you were a miner for how many years?
25 years actually. I left school in 1965, straight onto Bradford Colliery, surfaced for a short while, underground training at Moseley Common after that, and then from Moseley Common over here to Agecroft, where I spent the rest of the 25 years. It was... I wasn't sorry to see the back of the pit in one way, because I didn't like the work at all, and I don't miss it one little bit. However, what I do miss about the mines, and I missed it immediately, was the other people.
The camaraderie of it.
The friends, the camaraderie. I remember when it was announced that it was being closed, I'd been working on some pump somewhere, and I came in, and it was a very good friend of mine called Alan, an electrician who was there at Pit Bossum, and I remember just sitting down with him, and I just burst into tears over it all, and I was heartbroken, not because, well, partly because the pit were closing, but it was people like Alan, a very good friend, and others, you know. I thought, I've known these people for years and years and years, and I'm probably never going to see them again, and which has worked out to be quite true. But you know, today has been fantastic, and it's nice to see. Well, we've got the local MP here, we've got councillors here, we've got people from Africa, where Prince Peter was from, which is nice. You know, people representing the trade councils, etc., etc., and it's lovely. It's been a lovely turnout. Great to see so many people. Yeah. Some that I know slightly. Who were you, by the way? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Some that I know, many that I don't know. But it's great that he's got the support. You know, it's a wonderful turnout, and it's nice for me to be here because well, it is, yeah.
Good,
okay,
man.
Yeah.
Wonderful,
you.
Alex.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Cheers.